Surveillance footage shows authorities with guns drawn detaining Tracy Shepard and arresting her son Mark Crooms Friday evening at their home in Humble. It was Mark's 20th birthday.
They ain't even tell me right away that what I'm being arrested for. They waited till I got to the car and I asked myself, I said, what am I being arrested for? They said, murder. And I was like, the murder of who? They slammed the door in my face.
Police arrested and charged Crooms with the murder of 19-year-old John Dennis Holmes III. Crooms was friends with him.
So what evidence did they say they had that led back to you?
They said my fingerprints was in his car. And like I told them, of course my fingerprints would be in his car because I was just with him the same.
In John's car?
The same day.
Investigators found Holmes shot and killed 1 week ago in spring near the 300 block of Rapine Drive. I sat down with Shepard and she explained the same cameras that caught this video of her son's arrest also showed he was nowhere near the scene of the shooting. He was actually at home.
He went to go pick up something to eat probably around 6:27, 6:20-ish at McDonald's. He came back so you could see him on the camera getting out the car, pulling up. And after he ate his food, he decided to go outside and throw his trash away, which was at 6:43. John was murdered at 6:40 p.m. So how can he possibly be 17 miles away murdering someone?
Shepard says it wasn't until Monday that police reviewed the video. Crooms was released from jail and his charges dropped. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office released a statement saying in part, quote, an arrest warrant was issued for Crooms based on probable cause established during early stages of the investigation, adding, quote, new evidence emerged providing an alibi for Crooms.
You told them y'all had security footage.
Yeah.
She sent it to them Friday, and you still sat in jail all weekend.
He told me he was gonna watch. He really never watched it. He waited for. He really wanted my mom. My mama had to beg him to watch the video.
Shepard says her son is owed an apology, but most of all,
I'm just hoping and praying to God that his mama gets closure and they find John's killer. Rest in peace, John.
In Humble, Delon Dillard, Fox 26 News.
So y'all just heard and saw that news clip right there, and this ironically plays right into a narrative that we as black people, especially black men, have seen play out over and over and over again over the years and still plays out to this day. And the irony of it is, I just did a live stream about a man by the name of Christopher Dunn who spent about 30 plus years in jail for a crime he did not commit, and even after the judge overturned his conviction, they still kept him locked up for whatever reason. I'm sure they're going to say it was some kind of technicality. No, the judge overturned it, just let this man go. But they're keeping him there, basically, in my opinion, holding this man hostage. And now you have this story right here that's coming out of a place called Humble, which I believe is in Texas, where you have this situation right here of this young man who's, by the way, only 20. He's only 20 years old, young. Life is just getting started, and his life was about to be turned upside down and inside out over something he did not do, but they tried to place him there because he was just there with the person who lost their life. And thank God that there were cameras there at his home to prove that this boy, this 20-year-old man, did not do what they were trying to accuse him of. Like, they tried to say that he took out his friend. And it's like, no, because the thing is, if he really did that, he probably would have went about this a whole nother way, unless he would have just been a very dumb criminal, which unfortunately there are a lot of out here. But they tried to pin this crime on him, and it was not him. But the cameras, those cameras at his home, is what saved his life. Imagine if those cameras were not there, he would be sitting in jail still right now, and he would be falling into the same category as Christopher Dunn and a lot of other black men nowadays who fall into the same category. You want to know what's so scary? Is that I think about once, maybe every other month, I come across a story about a black man who has been acquitted of something he did not do, and it tells you how many years he's been in jail for a crime he didn't commit, and usually it's over 20 years. This man right here is extremely lucky in the sense that he only had to spend a weekend, even though he should not have spent a weekend or a day in jail. But he's lucky. All he had to do was a weekend, because there's a lot of people who do damn near a lifetime, like Christopher Dunn, who we just spoke about. And then this story falls right into my lap. It's crazy how things just happen. I'm like, I just learned about the Chris Dunn story. I literally just learned about it. And then this story happens like maybe a day or two later after. And mind you, let me tell y'all something right now. I'm actually recording this video before I do the Christopher Dunn live stream. That's very interesting. That's wild. That's a wild coincidence right there. It's an unfortunate one too. But you know what? I'm glad that they're getting this squared away. They need to go and sue this department, although that's most likely going to come out of the taxpayers' pockets. And what's crazy is that you have 45 again who spoke in Wisconsin saying that he wanted to give them more immunity. And I said, what's one of the things that we want to get rid of is qualified immunity, because we know who it affects the most. And as you can see, this is a perfect example of it right here. And then when confronted about their actions, they gave some BS response. Not surprised about that either. And it happened in Texas, which again, I'm not surprised about either. If y'all live in the state of Texas, please let me know if you've heard of this story. Please let me know. I feel like this is another one of those stories that definitely needs to get out. Thankfully, it didn't escalate to the point where this guy could have been manhandled, or he could have been harmed, or God forbid worse. Because it could have gotten to that point. He's like the perfect victim for them. Young, black, all of that. He would have been perfect for them. But then you have people like Tim Scott and Kamala Harris. Yeah, I said it. Talking about America is not a racist nation. When is the last time you saw a story where a PC man, no matter what their age, ever gone through something like this? Or when's the last time you heard a story where a PC person was spent all this time in jail for a crime they did not commit? It seems like everyone that pops up, it involves a black man for some odd reason. But this guy is very lucky that he was able to be released after a weekend, because some people spend damn near a lifetime behind bars for a crime that they didn't commit. Again, going back to the Chris Dunn, this man was in jail since like the 1990 or 91, somewhere in the early 90s. Got the conviction overturned by the judge, and they still kept him locked up. Man, that's why I be saying, don't try to tell me what this establishment is all about. It's pretty evident we know what it's about. It's very, very clear. And then, of course, you're going to have some people say, oh, don't make this about race. Just shut up. Y'all have no clue what you're talking about.